Welcome to step number 4 in the process of creating an AI influencer. And in that step, we will really start with the work, and the goal is to create the face of our AI influencer. But before we can do that, we have to install and adjust Fooocus, our tool, which we are going to use to create that face image. So as usual, let's have a look onto my screen. As I already mentioned, we are going to work with Fooocus, which is a tool that gives us access to the software Stable Diffusion. And Stable Diffusion is the software in the background that is actually creating our images. We won't dive into the details of all that. I just want to let you know that we are going to access a virtual notebook of Google Colab, to access massive computing power, and that for free if you want to. It sounds super complicated, but it is actually super easy, and you will see that in a minute. Of course, you can also use a Google Pro account, which gives you a little bit of advantage because you get more computing power and Google won't shut you down in between creating images. Because if you use a free account, every now and then Google would just kick you out and you have to start again. You have to wait a little bit, or you access with another free Google account, because you can create as many Google accounts for free as you wish. But it's more convenient to do all that with a Pro account, which you get for about $9. Okay, so the Google Colab is basically a virtual notebook, and on that we will be running our tool Fooocus. This is all you have to know at this point. For my German listeners and all the people who are interested in more depth detail about Stable Diffusion and Fooocus, a bigger course, about 6 hours, about all the features of Fooocus and Stable Diffusion and how to create AI images in general. So this is definitely recommended for all the German listeners. And it's also always a good idea to check out my account, because I also want to bring out that course in English very soon. Good. That being said, let's keep on going with our process of creating our own AI influencer. First of all, we have to install Fooocus and then change it a little bit. So where do we get this? We have two links here. Here you come directly to the Google Colab, on which we will be running Fooocus, or you can go to this GitHub page and always find the recent link to the newest Google Colab there. I recommend you use that one, because that link sometimes doesn't work. I don't know why. So if you use the second link, you get exactly to the right spot, and we will do that in a minute. I recommend just wait a little bit, because I will give you a little overview about what we are going to do, and then I will come back, do it on the browser, so you can simultaneously click on your screen. So just wait a little bit before you do that all on your own, because you will miss out on some important information. So the next step then, if you click on that link, is that you get to that screen. And this is basically the starting screen of Fooocus on a Google Colab. And as you can see, I'm already logged in here. And this is also what I recommend to you. The first thing you do when you get to that page is to log in into your Google account, or you even do that before clicking the link. And then when you're here on the starting screen, I recommend you go to File, Save a Copy, and Drive. Because if you do that, you get a copy of that notebook, that virtual notebook, into your Google Drive. And so you don't have to do these adjustments, which we are going to do in a minute, every time again you use it. So it's all saved, and you always can just exit what you already did. So in the next step, we have to include these two codes into that code here. I know it sounds super difficult and complicated, and I was afraid in the beginning as well when I saw it, but you will see it's super easy and it's not a big deal. And after that, we have to include these lines of code here in our Google Colab. We have to build around here a little bit, move the lines so that in the end it looks like this. And that's why I said, wait a minute before you start clicking. Now we will do that all together at the same time. So I will go to the GitHub page. This is the GitHub page where you find the link to Google Colab and the Fooocus notebook. How do you get to that page? I will include the link to the GitHub page in the download section together with all these other codes. So it's basically this link right here. And when you click that, you come to this page. When you scroll down a long way, you come to that section here, Colab. And when you click on that link, the Google Colab will be opening. Now you see that section you saw in the presentation before. And as I said, here we can see I'm already logged in into my Google account. And the first thing I recommend you to do is go to File and then Copy in Drive. So we get a copy of that notebook. We can close the original one and now we can work in this copy of us. So we can give it a name, for example, Influencer Colab. Okay, so we know what it is. Good. And then, as I said, we have to make some adjustments in this little code. We go here and we click 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So we get these extra lines. And then we mark this first line of code. We go on Control and X, cut it out. We go down here, Control and V, and we paste it in here. And now we just have to put our lines of codes in here, which you saw a minute ago in the presentation. I will provide that in the download section, so you can just do the same. You copy the first code and you go back right here and you paste it. Then you go back to the document, you copy that line of code and you paste it here. And that's it. So now our Colab is ready to run Fooocus. What are these lines of code? This is basically a command to download another base model. It's called Realism Engine STXL, and this is the download of another base model. It's called LazyMix Real Amateur. Okay, and we need these base models to create highly realistic images. And in the next steps, we will be starting all these lines of code each after each other, and in the end Fooocus will be running and we can start generating our images, but this is for the next video.